Welcome everyone to Oil Asset of the Day for the 18th of February 2020, presented by myself, Phil Carr, at the Gold and Silver Club. So first of all, what do you need to know for the week ahead? We have seen hedge funds and money managers yet again in the latest week. They've cut their net long positions on crude oil. And at the moment, in fact, we've seen oil roll over and sell off back towards $51 per barrel as a result of the continued fears regarding the outbreak of the coronavirus. Over 70,000 people now affected worldwide with the virus and over 1,800 deaths so far as well. And of course, this is putting pressure on the demand side for oil. And we also so far have not seen OPEC step up to support the market. So what can you expect as we go into this week? Well, right now with oil trading around $51 per barrel, we are in fact anticipating more range-bound price action over the course of this week. Last week, we of course saw that $50 per barrel handle get supported. We did see a rally into the close on Friday back towards $52 per barrel. In fact, the levels that we were looking at last week in the range-bound price action worked out perfectly. We managed to capitalize on this via derivatives last week with the energy market, and in fact banking over 1,000 points just last week on one of our positions. But now as we go into this week, we are managing our energy trades here, and what the anticipation would be, especially with US oil this week, that if we do revisit that $50 per barrel handle, this is where you start getting support come back into the market. Now we are seeing evidence, certainly on higher timeframes, of a low potentially starting to get formed, but this is also being heavily impacted by headline news items with the coronavirus. Each time we see a negative news item, so in the last 24 hours, we've seen reports from Apple that their quarterly earnings are going to be less than forecast as a result of the slowdown in China right now, and many of the factories being slower than expected to reopen in the region, which of course produce Apple products. And with that, we've seen a significant impact in the last 24 hours on US stocks, the S&P 500 dropping, and also this is having a knock-on effect with energies right now too. So that fear in the market does very quickly see oil sell off. And of course, this is where the precious metals get the safe haven bid, as I've discussed in detail on Gold Asset of the Day. But if we do get a revisit back towards that $50 per barrel handle this week, this is where I'd look for buying evidence to come in. I would then look to just trade the range back towards that $52, $53 per barrel handle. Again, not FOMOing in. The real trick right now is not to buy oil on the breakouts when it's already sitting at resistance. You want to get those tight entries when it gets down to major support zones such as $50 per barrel, which is a very magnetic level for oil, and especially on the weekly timeframes, that continues to hold support. And whilst we see buying evidence at that level, this can provide some great quick opportunities. I still prefer right now with crude oil to be in and out this market and be very fluid on those trades, just treating them as range-bound positions for the time being until we do get a resolution on this. Now, I would look at, again, the cycles with oil here. Typically, as we get towards the end of February and into March, the whole energy complex is very well supported and we do start to tick higher. And certainly on the weekly charts, the monthly charts, you can see that evidence coming in. But right now, it's a range-bound market. And you can just capitalize on this day-to-day, the breakouts, the pullbacks. This is the best way, in my opinion, to treat oil at the moment until we do get a solid breakout above these resistance zones, above the $53 to $54 per barrel handle, which would then suggest the low is in. For now, I'm favoring buy opportunities around that $50 per barrel handle, as long as there's buying evidence at that zone, and then essentially trading the range back towards the recent swing highs in the latest week. So with that, that's been Oil Asset of the Day, and of course I wish you good trading.